surprised I can do this without mucking up your tool here. Let's see. Oh, we're up, are we? Printing, yes. Don't know if we've got a very good camera angle, but it's hard to find one up here with the light shining in the window. If I put the camera facing the window, it just blots everything out. So. We're printing owls. Owls. We'll be doing nothing else probably for the rest of the week. Here's what's coming down, a base tone. You can see, you know what this print is. Which direction should I be moving here? Right. Base tone for the owl. This is one of two. We're going to do it again to get a deeper, richer color. So what I do, I've got them in groups of about 10 sheets here, and I do the base tone on 10, then the base tone on another 10, then go back into the second tone on the first 10. And the Parliament, is that what they're called? I wondered about that. Well, interesting enough, the Japanese name for this bird, there are owls here in Japan, it's called fukuro. This bird is something different, it's called mimizuku. It's not in the group called owls. Actually, I don't know what the English name is. I guess under the English system it comes under the owls. There's many types of owls. But in Japanese this isn't an owl. Mimizuku. I don't know what it's called in English. What's the paper bag for? Somebody's asking. I'm not sure what you're asking about paper bag. If you mean that brown sheet of paper, just a second. The back of the paper is moist here. And the tool today we're using is quite a heavy, rough one, and it would tear. So I've got a thin, what's it called? It's like that cooking sheet you use when you're making cookies, you know? It's protecting the back of the printing paper. When I'm doing the other lighter impressions later, I won't need it, but we're trying to avoid tearing the back of the paper here. Tiny bit of paste. Tiny dab of the pigment. Oracled leaf hopper? Really? Mimizuku. Oracled? What's oracled? It means it has ears. Leaf hopper. That sounds like an insect. Are we sure we got the right thing here? Mimizuku. giant scops owl. Again, that doesn't sound right because these are really small. Horned owl. That might make sense because they've got that little crest on the forehead, maybe. Starting to move quicker, I can't catch it all. Excuse me. Again, for latecomers, this is the first tone of the blue. There's going to be a second tone on the blue. Then, of course, the key block, and then I think there's three leaves. And a brown on the owl. So what is it all together? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 impressions. It's 5, but one of them is double. And I've got 72 sheets in my batch. It's a catch-up batch. Aimi-san's initial batch are all gone already. Her next batch won't be ready till Friday or Saturday. I'm going to get a ton of orders, so I've got to step in and do these today. And it would, of course, be timed. This is the first of the month, so it's also payday, which Cameron doesn't know how to do yet, so we got to go run him through today. And it's also billing day for the subscriptions, which has to be done this morning. It is a busy day here today. Like they aren't all. there's that first batch of 10 for the first cover. They now go into the undercover here, and I bring out now what I did the previous. This is the batch I did last night before I knocked off. So these have got their first tone and they've waited. They're now going to get their second. So we don't do the second layer right bang on top of the first. You're working on this owl identification, are you? Horned owl? I guess so. 30. There's no way these are 12 inches. These are a kind of bird that sits in the cup of your hand. You could hold it in the cup of your hand there. So these are really quite small birds. So a horned owl it might be, but it's not going to be a giant horned owl. And less pressure on the second run, the second pass. Paper is softened, moistened, flat. And there we are after 2 passes. Nice. I don't know what it looks like under my camera under this funny light, but nice pure base green. It looks kind of green in the camera light here, but it's blue. They go in the out stack. They're going to lay up here, ready for the next 4 impressions. A bit too deep maybe, I'm not sure here. So there's a wiper. How does it have to dry for after the printing press? After we finish printing, they dry really quite rapidly. These are quite thin sheets of paper, you know. They're wet, but there's not much water in them, and it depends on the season. If it's a rainy season, when the air is really thick and humid and wet, of course they take longer to dry. Here now in autumn, this is bone dry outside today. So they'll dry in minutes, and we air dry them for a few minutes to get rid of most of the moisture. But if we air dried them all the way, they would just crinkle up. So we air dry them to get rid of, I don't know what number this is, 70 or 80% of the moisture. Then we put them between heavy drying boards for the last stages, and that gets them all totally flat. I seem to drop some paste on the wall here. But it's November now, they're going to dry in a few minutes. If I'm not careful, if I sat and held this print while I talked to you, this paper here would dry out. We really have to keep moving to keep it moist. Looking good. A bit too much tamari on the edge there. Be careful. Yeah, I think I got the cold beat. I'm not quite sure. It might be a little fraction of it left inside. If you can hear my voice, I don't know. I think it's been chased away. Looking good, nice and smooth. This is the hardest part of woodblock printmaking, you know, printing smooth, deep colors. If you can do this, you can do the rest of it. We're cheating a little bit here. It's not cheating. We're doing it twice, 2 light colors twice to get a really smooth effect. It's not cheating, it's just a way of doing it. It takes a bit longer. A lot of the old printers won't do this. They think it's a lack of pride. Have to do it twice, no way. But when you compare the finished result, this is deeper and smoother and richer. Do you wet the paper then squeegee the excess water? No, 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 no. I wet the paper last night with my water brush, and I just used words again. I used just the right amount of water. I'm not sure what to say. You know, we moisten them 2 sheets at a time. We've done this on some of the videos. It's visible there. I think the one that comes to mind easiest when we made the video for the Chibi Hero Sprints that shows the entire process. I mean the entire process, everything from drawing right to the trip to the post office. In that video, there's a section about how the paper is moistened. And you can see the way we use this brush. I put it on 2 sheets at a time. But it's impossible to tell you in words. And even for us, if I were doing the paper moistening in July at the height of the rainy season, the paper in the room already has a bunch of moisture in it. So we put less on. If I'm doing it here in dry November, I'd have to put more on because the paper just doesn't have that much moisture inside it to start. It's just experience. There's no other word to say, just experience. Just you learn quickly when you're trying it. You know, if the paper is hard and won't take up pigment, it's because it's doesn't have enough moisture in it. Learn very quickly by trying it. Are you going to retire in Japan or go back? No, I'm here. I'm done. This is my home. I live here. This is my home. I'm not going anywhere. I go back to Canada now for weddings and funerals. That's it. This is my home. UK, I haven't been there. What? I visited. When did I last there? 1971 or something? I can't remember. No, I visited in about 2002. Went to the British Museum for a while. Might be going back there actually later this year. Oops, top secret. No, I'm not a citizen of Japan. I'm a permanent resident. I know Japan, say, for example, Canada and Japan do things differently. When my kid's mother, when she went to Canada like 40 years ago from Japan, she came in as a landed immigrant, which means the idea is you're going to be here for a while and learn about the country and blah, 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 then you will become a Canadian citizen. That's the sort of implicit assumption in a place like Canada. I think it's called landed immigrant. Here in Japan, they have no such category. I'm here I have permission now to stay as a resident, as a permanent resident. But it's not a step to citizenship. It's just a category all by itself, permanent resident. There's no assumption or promise that you will become a citizen. That's not how they do it here. Citizenship is something separate. If I asked for it, at this point now, after being a permanent resident for, I don't know how many years, 25 or something. If I asked for citizenship now, almost certainly they would give it to me. I'm a good boy, no trouble with the police, I've paid my taxes, etc., etc., etc. But what I have is not citizenship, and at the moment I'm not interested in that. I'm quite happy being a resident, a permanent resident. I can't vote. I can't work for the police department, but like that's a barrier. Yeah, the word retiring, so retiring. I mean, what does that word mean? I'm 65 now, like should I retire tomorrow afternoon? There's no retirement for me. It doesn't have any meaning, I think retirement, whatever, if you're the kind of person you've done and you've had a job and a career someplace, but that it's been a job in the sense of you made a deal with some place that they would give you money and you would give them time. The sort of classic job. It wasn't a heartfelt thing. You weren't there because you just couldn't keep away from the stuff. It was there as a bargain. I'll be here for you for X hours a week, you give me money. If that's the kind of situation, then retiring has some meaning. But my situation is it's not like that. Obviously, we're not here in exchange for money. So to decide to ring the bell and not do it again doesn't really make any sense. So no, there's no retirement for me. What am I going to do? Retire and go and make woodblock prints? I'm printing because the owl prints are selling like gangbusters. That's right. I shouldn't be doing this today. It's payday. I should be doing paperwork. No, Cameron should be doing paperwork. He doesn't know how to do it yet. Then today's the billing day for subscription prints, and I've got to start that process. It's mostly automatic, but I've got to check it and organize it and start it off. It's the first of the month here in Japan, so. Okay, that's the second cover on the last batch I did last night. Now we have cover 1 on the copies I did just when we started here this morning, but we're going to put those aside for a minute, and we're going to do copy layer number 1 on a new batch. So you can see how it works. They're staggered. Retire from Excel to make woodblock prints. What's this? What's this? The first batch didn't print. Yeah, the boy we hired to do the first batch, the boy we tested, they just, no, I don't want to say too much about it. They didn't work out. I know. They're downstairs on my desk, 60 or 70, 60 copies of it, 66 copies, I think. And he just doesn't get what we're trying to do. I don't really want to talk too much about it. You're not supposed to say things about people, whatever. But he just doesn't get what we're trying to do, So be it. I paid him for the job, and that's it. We're done. Goodbye. Thank you very much, and see you again someday. Maybe not. But it was too bad, because we really were hoping he'd be able to pull for this team, but didn't work out. Now this is tough. This is the first. What I just did a few minutes ago was the second coat. This is the first coat on hard. The paper's moist, but it's harder because it's thicker, hasn't been printed on yet. So I'm using twice as much pressure, easily twice as much pressure. First coat. This goes in because it goes in here for hiding, because it's going to get a second coat in a few minutes. The octopus will be done in spare time. Spare time is the wrong word. I know the octopus is a priority. I want to get it going. I want to make it. It just doesn't have, all the other jobs have time priority. The octopus is the gift print. We all know what the priority is there, December 25th, So the octopus is not forgotten, not shunted off. Just priorities, and all these jobs they're in flux all the time, So have patience, just have a bit of patience. The octopus is not gone and not forgotten. I started it a year ago. It slept for like 9 or 10 months before having a boom of activity after I opened Twitch. The octopus will be a big seller, absolutely. Just it'll have to be a big seller for us next year, not this year. So. Did I talk about ink or anything? I'm not quite sure what you're asking about. I'm sorry. Octopus, the most popular print to be hidden under a bed, absolutely. Getting a bit deep. Too deep for two passes. Put too much ink on there. Jed's there. Hey, Jed-san. Good morning, good morning. No heroes work this morning, Jed. Sorry. Ink. Yeah, we don't have anything called ink here in our tradition. We don't use anything that would remotely be called ink. What I'm using here is a pigment. It's a powder pigment. Just a sec till I can get my hands free. Just a moment. I'm sitting at Ayumi-san's bench here this morning. She's off today. What can I show? Here. They're kind of like this. These are powder. You can see this is a dry one on Ayumi-san's bench. It's a bunch of dry powder. She hasn't used this one in a few days, so it's dried out. They're powder pigments. We mix them with water. Going to show or not, I don't know, under the camera here. Powder pigments mixed with water, and we couldn't print just with that all by itself. So what goes into the mix is paste, Japanese paste. It's called Yamato Nori. So paste on the block. There's enough pigment in the brush for this one. Spread those around and bang, that's it. So no ink, no inks at all. Jed's listening while he does dishes. So, what with headphones? Do you suffer with back or neck pains? No, I have no pain whatsoever. None of us do here. Everybody asks this question, and our answer is always no. And it seems Americans ask that question. We don't know. That seems to be a thing in American culture where people have injuries from working in funny ways or something. I don't know. It doesn't happen to us. Bit too much ink spreading around on the edge here. Ink, look at that. I said ink. It's in my brain now after what you said. Funny, eh? Bit too much paste. It's building up a bit too much on the edges of the block here. This is why we don't mix the paste together with the pigments, because we want to keep able to adjust the balance. I put a bit too much paste on those last few. It started to build up around the edges of the block. And if we had them mixed together at the beginning, we'd never know what a good balance was. So paste and pigment always go on separately. Coming out nice. Very happy with this. Hopefully 72 people will be happy early next week. I won't get 72 good ones. I'm not that good a printer anymore. I know when I was doing printing all the time, every month, you get pretty stable and pretty good at it. But I know I've done so little printing in the last few years. When I started this last night, the first dozen or so are probably going to be no good. Struggling to find the right balance of moisture, pigment, pressure. So the girls are watching me. They're going to see. I reject so many of their prints, they're going to be interested to see how many of my own I reject. Can't be helped. But they're ready to stand by laughing. Oh, geez, look at that thread. Just a minute. Look at this, I can't catch up to this. Where are we? Are you getting worse because of age and not working? Well, mostly no practice, of course, absolutely. And when you're doing this every day with any job, any skill, absolutely. I'm totally rusty. What I'm running on now is the muscle memory and stuff like that. When you're doing it every day, you've got, you're primed. But I haven't steadily. This is 72 prints. When's the last time I made 72 prints? I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. Certainly before we started Asakusa, so 3 years ago. So what I'm running on now is, as I said, just muscle memory, the memory of how to do this, not the actual. Imagine if you're a musician or something, 3 years. Give me a break. It's okay, I've been using my time in a useful, wise way, building this business and helping train these people. So I'm not complaining or whatever. He full-time illustrates books. I think we're confusing two people here. Are we talking about something else? I can't catch the thread here. Jed is the book illustrator, or the illustrator, the artist. I don't see the whole thread here. I'm sorry. I know. Whatever. I guess it's pointless to try and answer because I can't read everything there. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm saying then. Yeah, the story about the musician. Where have I heard that before? Things go round and around and around. Do you think there's something you won't pass on, like some of the old carvers wouldn't pass to you? Okay, there's two things here. And really, this story about the old carvers wouldn't pass things on. This is sort of a thing that's grown out of control. In general, when I came here, printers were happy, open guys who said, let's go for a drink. You could sit and watch them work, and it was okay. carvers are not gregarious. They're quieter, sort of more serious people. They work by themselves. And they don't want people around bothering them. So it isn't that the carvers were, we can't show this foreigner this stuff, oh my God, he's going to steal our jobs or something. It wasn't like that. They were just busy guys who don't want to be bothered. The same as I am now. If someone asked me to come and sit in my workshop and watch me carve, I'm like going to not want to do this, you know. I do it on Twitch and whatever because you get where we're at, but I would not want somebody sitting here day after day bothering me and stuff like this. So that's where the thing about the carvers didn't help Dave came from. One specific guy, I can mention his name, Ogura-san. He didn't like me. I went to his workshop one day, he hid his tools. But that's one single guy on one single episode. In general, it's not that the Japanese carvers were totally secretive and they don't want to show anything, you know. It's just the nature of the job. So I'm really sorry that this kind of a semi-myth has grown up, you know. The people in Japan didn't want to help Dave. Because for the most part, 90x% for the most part, the people in Japan did and were willing to help Dave. So I've got to say whatever I can now to help get this thing under control before it grows into some real giant myth. Yeah, the musician anecdote. Yeah, I think maybe I perhaps told that on a video a couple of months back. So things go around, take one down and pass it around. Oh, I thought I was going to say, is it the rats or what is it? No. A bit too big. If it's a rat that big, then I'm in big trouble because there's no exit. It's over the balcony or out. Cameron's here. He snuck up quietly. I can't hear the ping pong from up here on the third floor. I thought this is one mother of a rat that's got, actually maybe it is. we are busy today, man. It's the first of the month. Yeah. We have to pay all the staff, including you if we get to the bottom of the list. And then it's billing day for subscriptions, which we haven't done together yet. Right. So we are busy. So whatever. I'm going to be here till 9:30. Yep. I did the Ome thing already. Oh, wow. I've done it. I have no choice. Yeah. You know, we're at 9:30. We're going to hit the ground running. So I know. Yeah. She actually just, or Yasui-san called. And I told her that you were streaming and she'll call again at 9:30. She does. She has questions about, is Lisa Aoyama-san going to be here today? Yes, he's coming today. Okay, her questions are for him. Okay. She's got a question about how we changed the suri job, the printing job module, and the girls have been using it wrong. They've been using the planning date as their start date. Oh, no. It's all sorted in the wrong order. Yasui-san doesn't know what's going on because we didn't bother to explain this to her. So when Aoyama-san gets here, tell him the problem. It's the suri job module. Okay. Yasui-san doesn't know what to do. Please call her and get it going. Perfect. Other than that, what time is it now? 8:44. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, plenty of time. Now, because of this interruption, my piece of wood is dry, just so people know. The piece of wood is dry. This is why we talk about not being bothered. I'm just in the stream right now, we're talking about this. We don't want people to bother us. If a phone call comes, or Cameron comes and stops me, this block is now, look at this, it's bone dry. And I've got to now try and get it back to the right level of moisture without getting it too wet. And almost certainly what will happen is there'll be too much water here. The next print will be a little bit blotchy. Oh, no. So this is really, not to blame me, I'm just telling the story to the stream, This is, we were talking about, why isn't Aimi-san going to take care of her baby while she's printing at the same time? I mean, give me a break. So you can't do it. You just can't do it, So. Okay, then I would let you print without any more interruptions. Yeah, I think we're cool. What you can do, the staff timesheets are all there. Are they all there? Also, some people have totaled up neatly the hours they worked. They've totaled up the kotsuhi, and some people don't give a rat's ass, and we have to do it. Take a look at the timesheets and try and have a look through them. And I can add, so I can do that one. Yep. Did I open my hanky? Whatever. Am I sitting on a bench? No, my legs are down inside. I can't show you. These benches are all. We're on a disaster. We're on a raised platform here. We lifted up the floor far enough so that when we cut a hole, we could go down through into the subfloor. And I am just sitting here with my feet on a nice little hot carpet in the bottom. Yeah, print. So. Height. Where am I? What am I doing? I'm printing the back side now on that group I did, whatever, half an hour ago. Whatever, I missed a ton of stuff, whatever, so it be. And this now, after getting its second copy, very nice, very smooth. Where am I supposed to be for the camera? Actually, it looks green on my screen here, but it's not. It's actually well, it's your definition of what green and blue are, but whatever. How long does the paper on the burn? I'm not sure what you're asking me. If you mean the cover of the burn, it'll be changed around noon. It's starting to go little holes in it. You see it? It's pretty good, but it's starting to get a few cracks and holes. It'll be good for me for the rest of this stream here. But it'll probably finish the blue here, but it wouldn't do much more than that. And we just rip the cover off, throw it away, and tie a new one on. I'm not going to do that on the stream this morning. No way. I got this thing to do. Are you there, Cameron-san?
Yeah.
There's one thing to think about. I know it's Wednesday, and quite often Audrey-san gets here first before Shiba-san. Okay. And Audrey has no key. So, or just when it gets to be about 9:20 or so. It's too early now, but keep in mind that she might be standing outside or something around 9:20. Right. Shiba-san comes a long way from Ome, and she's sometimes not here till after 9:30. I guess I do have a little bit of jet sting still left in me. The Barons, yeah, the one we've got here, what would it have cost me? This is an 8 fat. It wouldn't have been too much. This would have been about, I don't know, $800, $900, something like that for this tool. Yeah. But it's worth it. Well worth it. They're a lifetime tool. They take a ton of effort to make. We should do a website one day on how they're made. We really would like to do that, but it's on the to-do list. Nice, I'm happy with this. It's not garbage. $800 or $900. Yeah, that's actually not so bad. I know Goto-san, the guy making them for us, I think his list tops out at somewhere around $1,400, somewhere around there. Well worth it. A bit of a choke to pay for, but for a lifetime professional tool that took the guy a month to make. What are we talking about? Carved blocks. What? I'm sorry, it's a bit too long for me to catch. What are all these questions? Aren't the wood blocks? I'm sorry, I don't see a clear question for me here. I know. Okay, that's the back side. I mean, the second run of the group that I was just starting when you guys came. So now we grab a fresh group and we do the first color, the first copy. The price of the wood block you're using. You mean the blank piece of wood or the thing that's carved? I know. The blank piece of wood, we make them here. We're having real trouble buying good wood these days. There are no good suppliers left. They're all gone, period. So we're making our own. In fact, Aoyama-san, that's his job today, in the back room over there. He will be laminating more blocks based on raw cherry that we've been buying from the lumber yards. So I'm sorry, I'm not quite up on the thread here. The block you're seeing on my desk is one that I carved last week, right here on the Twitch channel. Over the last couple of weeks, I carved this set of blocks from zero. And now the set is ready. Where are they? There's more. You know, we saw them when they were being carved the other day. It's a block that's going to do the brown tree, a block that's going to do the base color of the owl, there's another one for some leaves. There's 3 pieces of wood, 5 faces. Now, this is going to look a bit funny when I pull this out of the stack here. Hang on a sec. It's too long. I should have actually trimmed them, I think, before we started, but... Here we go, base tone, eh? Dave, do you print from block sets you have in your collection or carved by old masters? No, I know 90x% of the block sets we have here are block sets that we've made ourselves, we've carved ourselves. In addition to that, in recent years, if you look up our YouTube channel and look for the stuff about doi hanga, we're using blocks that were carved in the first part of the 20th century. This is not Edo time, first part of the 20th century. We have access to some blocks that were carved at that time. That publisher doesn't have access to a lot of good printers. They're letting us use the blocks to try and make more prints. As far as blocks carved back in the Edo time, there's now next to nothing left, of course. Once the Edo period was over, most of that stuff just went in the wooden stoves. You know, nobody needed that stuff. Here and there, museums have a few left over. I've picked up a few over the years from, auction sites and stuff like that. But there's next to nothing left. And also, when we speak about the Edo period, it's now so much time has gone by, those blocks are almost certainly completely unusable. They're warped, they're split, they're just too soft, they've died. It's a piece of wood, What is quite common here and what comes up in the auctions almost daily are block sets that were carved in the 1950s, 60s, 70s or so. Like we do with our business. We make our reproductions. There were a lot of companies doing it in that time, and they're bankrupt now. They're finished. And those block sets are filtering out in society. We see them on Yahoo auctions all the time. If they're cheap enough, we would like to grab some. Occasionally we do. We've got some sets. I got some in my carving room downstairs we picked up just last week from the Takamizawa company. But when you speak about blocks of the old days, the Edo period, forget it. It's done, gone, cooked, finished. They're either in museums or in the stoves. Very, very, very few are still around. Can't quite sure which is the front side on this. Any plans on using polymer blocks? Why would I want to do that? I don't know. It's not what we want to do. I mean, again, what are we doing here? I know there's much more efficient ways to do printing, printing presses and blah, 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 blah. It's not our mandate. It's not what we like to do. We like to do it the old way with the old tools and techniques. And the prints that come out have a look and a feel that are different from prints made on stuff like polymer blocks and printing presses. So we're not doing it because there's no other option, or because we can't figure out how to do a modern way. We're doing it because we like doing it this way. And the people picking up our prints, when they're in the shop and they see the stuff on the wall and they see, oh, now I get it, now I get it. There's a different look and a feel to our finished prints that just is different from things printed with more modern technologies. And if you haven't seen them in real life, I'm sorry, there's not much I can say in words that will explain it to you, but try and watch more of our videos. Upside down, I can't tell. Some of these sheets have a rough front, so rough you can't tell the front from the back. For those of you just joining or whatever, what we're doing, this is the owl print. The blue sky tone is a double printing. It gets two impressions. I'm doing the first impression here on this particular batch. In a minute I'll be doing the second impression on a different batch. We're doing heavy wear. The Great Wave block. I've got the Great Wave block at the moment back from our printers. It's in my workshop downstairs. It's here for testing and checking and inspection. And I'm very, very happy it's showing minimal wear, almost not detectable. I've got to get some time this week to make a video because people are asking, is the block worn out? What's going on? 1,000 copies, blah, blah, blah. We've printed around 1,000. There's tiny, almost undetectable wear. We expect, looking at this, I think we're going to run at least 3,000. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. We are very much taking care of that block. It's a treasure. How are we doing for time? I'm okay still, right? Yeah. We're talking about the subscriptions and stuff, so I know many people are asking me about this. I know I can just reiterate again. I know I'm new on Twitch here. I don't really have a good grasp of the ecosystem and how the subtleties all work. So just please hang off for a little bit on the subscription requests and stuff. The simple, quick answer is that we didn't want to look and see like we were trying to pay me. You know, I see this part of our work as being very much on a educational and fun and sharing what we do. And I'm not here on Twitch to try and, you know, please help me, I'm a bit hungry. So we were trying to avoid that feeling. But there's more to Twitch than this. Of course, people want to be part of a community and stuff like that, which I'm learning about bit by bit by bit. So for the subs and stuff, just please hang on for a while. Let me just get a bit more used to this. And then maybe in the new year or something, if I get a bit more time to go out into Twitch and look at other people streaming and see what they're doing and get a feel for what it's like, then maybe we'll do that thing. We'll make some icons or whatever it is that I don't really understand yet. So please just hang on. For now, just enjoy the streams, enjoy the chats, communicate with each other, and please don't worry about, you know, throwing money our way and stuff. We're actually doing very well this year. We've had a very, very, very good year. We've just closed October, and it was the biggest month we've ever had in terms of both number of prints leaving and in revenue. So we're okay, and please don't worry about, you know, helping us right now. Just watch what we're doing, try and enjoy it, try and learn, and maybe get interested in printmaking and try it yourself. Who knows? Now, the number of sales this month not normal. There's 3 or 4 things in play here. Excuse me, come on. Just a minute. Excuse me, sorry. I still have that catch in my throat, you know. Cha-cha. I know why this month was so special. There's a bunch of things all lined up. I know October, there's tourists here. It's one of Japan's biggest tourist seasons. Spring and autumn are tourist seasons, so that's the reason for being up. Mokuhankan, we had the shop for 3 years, so there's organic growth in play here. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. It's growing steadily, year by year, not month by month, because it's a seasonal pattern, but it's seasonal up, seasonal up, seasonal up. Another factor is, I know YouTube. YouTube has gone crazy. They are promoting us like crazy. YouTube's algorithms are really helping us. It's June 26th. We went from an average of 200 views a day, and we're now over 20,000 views a day. And that started on June 26th. So our graph went like this and went like that, and it hasn't changed since then. Another factor is, I know, it turns out that Delta Airlines has helped us this month a huge way. That not video, whatever, that movie people made about us a couple of years back has been playing in the Delta Airlines seatback entertainment system, at least on the run that comes to Japan, maybe other places, I don't know. And it's crazy. Every day this last month, there's people came upstairs. Oh, I saw you in the Delta in the airplane, and my God, it looks great. Where's the hero's prints and stuff? So there's a bunch of things all happened at the same time over the past few weeks. But in reality, all of our increased sales, the best month we've ever had, it must be due to Cameron coming and joining. You know, he's going to ask for a raise or something. I
didn't know I meant so much to you.
Oh, it's okay. Just the end of your first month, just please don't ask me for a raise just yet. Okay, wait a couple of days or something or whatever. Actually, it's a funny, sort of a joke with me and him. He's just coming on board right now. And it's bad luck for him to come on board at a time when we're exploding. I mean, if he'd come on 3 months ago, and then after he comes on 3 months, then it explodes, he can look at me and say, well, Dave, I'm doing okay. But it's going to be difficult for him now to claim anything. So, because next month is probably going to be down. It's like, here you are, Cameron, you've come on board and our sales have dropped 10% this month. You know? So
Don't curse us.
yeah, those YouTube algorithms, I have no idea how they work, but my God, they're on our side. Whatever they're on our side. So. Somebody who worked at Google was here a while ago doing a print party, and we're chatting about this. And he didn't specifically know anything about our account, but he knows in general terms the kind of things that are changing. And he said Google's thing, if you go back X years, Google's system just worked on sort of clicks, counting how many people clicked on stuff. And he said very much that's passé now. I know the way the video algorithms work, it's much more focused on how long people stay on any given video. So not how many started and then left 10 seconds later because they weren't interested in it. It's how many people stay. And our videos really sort of seem to show this. After the first 10 seconds or so, when people are gone, who is this stupid guy with a beard? They're gone. YouTube doesn't care about those people. It cares about the people who came and stayed all the way to the end. And I think we do pretty well on that, and that's why the algorithm is looking at our stuff and saying, let's spread this around a bit. So, of course we don't know, but it seems that it's something like that. A bit too deep blue. I think I've got to be careful. When you do double impression, it's hard to get the depth right. You know? It's under plastic, of course, moisture controlled. Eh? They're under plastic in here. They come out to get printed. They go under plastic there. Cooking stream with Dave. What's this? What's this? They're not shoe brushes. They're a similar type construction. They're horsehair. Have you ever carved a pumpkin? What? No, sir. No, sir. Shoot that to him in an email. I'm not sure what you're asking about, I know. Is there a question? What's going on? Shoot that to him in an email. Yeah, the camera setup. I know. When I did a printing thing here a few weeks ago, right, I was doing the test printing on this owl. I was in the evening. Big difference. I put the camera on the other side, shooting this way, and you got a good view of everything. That doesn't work this morning because there's a window beside it. And put the camera this way, I get the white, bright window, and you can't see anything on the bench. So I've put the camera at the window side. So no, this is not optimal. Whatever, I'm sorry. It's on a... There's just nowhere to put the camera there because that's where the prints go. So I know I'm left-handed, so the camera should be here on my right-hand side to shoot across you so you can see everything. But looks nice. So I'm sorry. For today, take what you can get, and next time around. Actually, there might be. Well, no, not sure. I'll be doing this. What is the streaming going to be? Today's Wednesday. It's now bookwork for me for the rest of the day. It's payroll and then billing and whatever else is going to go on. This evening I'll be back here printing, but I won't be. I'll be back here tomorrow streaming again. What will I be doing? It'll be the key block or a color block or something. I don't know. So whatever, I'll try and fool around with the camera if it's not suitable, but it's on a... Pink and blue gradients. What are we talking about? Different stuff. Okay. So. Yeah, I've got the cough still. You know, the cough I got when a guest of ours was here last week, and he had a cough, and I seem to have picked it up. So I thought I shook it off, but it's come back in the last hour or so quite strongly. So whatever. Blame Twitch. What does Cameron do? Well, we're going to work on this together. I mean, one of the ideas about Cameron being here is he's going to take many of these jobs. He's not here as a bookkeeper. We've talked about this before. He's here simply at the moment, stage one, share my work. Take some of the stuff that I've been doing, share my work. And one of those jobs has been payroll. As time goes by, Cameron will be doing things like working on new projects and new endeavors that we want to do. We're going to start a tool business next year. We have a major construction job starting next month. Maybe. There's lots of things going on that he will be working on and helping with. But short term, he's here to share my workload, period. This was the whole, rationale behind the Patreon that we opened, like half a year ago. And it has worked. We now have 2 or 3 new staff, plus Cameron, who are sharing my workload and supported by those Patreon funds. That it won't stay that way indefinitely. Of course, you can't hire people based on Patreon people paying for them. But for the start, for getting this up and running, that's how this is working. So. Tool business. It's not a secret. I talked about it. We started it actually back in 2012. There's a page on the website. I forget where it is. It's in the Mokuhankan.com website. Mokuhankan.com/ I think it's Mokuhankan.com/knives. We started. I made some prototypes. I got a blade maker working with me. We made some sample boxes. We didn't take orders. We weren't that far along the line. And then 2 things happened. One is we got broke because I was too busy with the trainees and not paying attention to my own subscription people. And then second is an email came from that dude, Jed Henry, and our life went in a different direction. I think it's there. Is it mokuhankan.com/knives.html or something like that? And the page is there, and I hope it has a note saying that this is sleeping at the moment. I don't know. Yeah, blame Jed. That's right. It's Jed who's responsible for the lack of our tools at the moment. I wouldn't have gone anywhere. We were broke. We were just ready to sort of wrap things up, and Dave was going to go back to being a solo craftsman. It was pretty much already decided in the spring of 2012, The Mokuhankan venture, it just hadn't been financed properly or planned carefully enough. All right, what's the time? We're going to have to get going here. Camera-san, are they downstairs? Is it open? What's happening? It might be a customer. It might be. Just keep an eye, please. So 9:27. I have got to wrap this up. 14 sheets left. Oh well, too bad. I thought I might be able to finish it here this morning. So what are we going to be doing? Okay, there's no way this will be finished tonight. There's 6 impressions altogether, and I'm partway through the first 2, the double impression. Once these are done, it'll be the key block and then the 3 browns for the owl and the leaves. But there's no way that'll be finished tonight, not with all the paperwork going on. So I'll be back here tomorrow morning. I'll be back here again, continuing work on this batch of the owl prints. And there's no way that will continue another day, because these have got to be finished. This is Wednesday. Got to be finished Thursday. There's people now waiting. This order is booked now. People have paid. I've said the print is almost on the way in a few days. That's these prints I'm printing right now. So anyway, tomorrow I'll be here. Tomorrow morning, Thursday morning. After that, I just can't see. I could be back at the carving bench finishing up the New Year's card. The New Year's card carving might be finished. Maybe I'll be here test printing New Year's card. I don't have any idea. For now, I have got to get busy on a very, very busy day of work. Thanks for watching. I'm sorry if I've missed questions and stuff going on here. It's better than carving, you know, because I can actually see this, unlike I can when I'm carving. How big is too big? Whatever, I can't know. I've got to get going. Thanks very much for participating this morning. It's been a bit of a different stream. I'll be back here again, same time, same station, with more carving on this Mimizuku, whatever kind of owl it's called. I hope I can see you then. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye. Step 1, camera off. Step 2, find the stop streaming button. So long. Thank you again.